My sister's husband vanished overnight, leaving behind debts, lies, and my parents in ruins. They turned to me for rescue. But what I said when my mother got on her knees changed everything. I never thought I'd be standing at a crossroads where my own dignity clashed with the survival of my marriage. But that's exactly what happened. My stepdaughter, she accused me of shattering her parents' marriage. She demanded I confess to an affair that never even existed. And in the end? She got what she wanted, but at a cost neither of us could take back. I'm 38 now, married to my wife Zara, who's 41. We've been together for 4 years. And then there's her daughter, Ileliana, 20 years old. She's the storm that's been brewing in our lives for nearly a decade. I first met her when she was 12, right after Zara and I started dating. But let me rewind a little further, because context matters. Zara and I once worked at the same marketing firm. Different departments, barely any interaction. Just polite nods across a meeting table or small talk at office parties. Back then, I was seeing someone else, and Zara seemed happily married, her desk covered with smiling family photos. I eventually left that job for a startup and didn't think about her again. 2 years later, fate threw us back together at a birthday party for a mutual friend. And I'll never forget how different she looked that night, tired, drained, like life had been siphoning away her energy. That's when she told me she was in the middle of a divorce. Her husband had walked out 6 months earlier, and the papers were almost finalized. We ended up talking the entire evening. At some point, I asked her if she wanted to grab coffee sometime. That's how it all began. Now, here's where the cracks started showing. Zara's ex, Tom, was bitter. He swore she was having an affair, though he never had a name. According to her, he was always paranoid, jealous when she worked late, suspicious if she went out with friends. She told me their marriage had been over long before they signed the papers. Still, that lie, that poisonous seed, was planted. And it spread. When Zara and I first got serious, Ileliana didn't seem to mind me. I drove her to soccer practice, helped with homework when she asked, but I never tried to play dad. She was polite but kept her distance. Honestly, I thought that was normal. But when she turned 15, the shift was undeniable. She started making these barbed comments about men who leave their wives for younger women. I mean, Zara is only 3 years older than me, so what was she really implying? Then came the pointed questions. When exactly did you two meet? What date was that? She'd do the math on her fingers and mutter, interesting timing. That's when Zara finally told me the truth. Tom had been filling Ileliana's head with lies. He told her Zara's marriage ended because of an affair with me. Since she knew her mom and I had worked together years before, she convinced herself it had to be true. Zara tried to explain we'd barely spoken at that job, that we reconnected only years later. But Ileliana didn't believe a word. And the resentment only grew. At family dinners, she'd toss out digs about homewreckers. She rolled her eyes anytime Zara and I showed affection.